Hello and welcome to an indie snapshot video. In this episode, I'm going to look at a game called Rice. So I do have a little bit of meta progression, notably boosting a lot of my damage, but I still have quite a few unlocks left to go. But just so if you start off the game and you realize, wow, I'm not doing that kind of damage, this is why. So I'm just going to dive right in. I'm going to use the default sword, if I can find it, there we go. And I'm just going to talk about why I think this is a great game. So first of all, it's just a couple of bucks. It's the classic survivor-like games. So if you like those games like Vampire Survivors, this is the game for you. You can pick it up on Steam right now, and it is a ton of fun. The aesthetic of this game is pretty cool. The idea is you're this Galactus kind of guy who's going around destroying planets, just absolutely murking everything in sight. And there's a couple of neat mechanics. So starting off, you can obviously get XP by killing the monsters that are around, but you can also get weapons from destroying the planets. So it has this really cool dynamic where you can choose to go for XP, or you can choose to prioritize weapon upgrades. And the weapon upgrades are pretty cool too, because they have this interesting little basic system among them. First of all, if you get 3 of a kind, like I'm about to do right now, you get an improved version. So now my sword looks a little bit different and has a little bit more of an effect. I'm just going to get some piercing, not going to worry about those cards for now. And you'll see I have to clear out this void with my weapons before I can actually damage the planet. And early on, this actually is a really big deal because the sacrificing damage on the void as opposed to clearing out the monsters means you can get overwhelmed pretty easily if you don't have the damage. But because of that meta progression, it's not too much of an issue to me. So I'm just going to fill up my weapon slots. And as I mentioned before, you have these multiple weapon slots. So I have 3 currently, but you can get lots more. And they all have different triggers. So my first one fires at my mouse, my next one is the nearest target, and my next one is the highest HP enemy. Later on, it becomes important to prioritize which weapon you have in which slot. So you can have a slow weapon like the gun, for example. I could put that down here, and maybe I would even keep the dagger to fire at the nearest targets because it's so fast. So this will clear off things that are close to me, and this will snipe enemies that have a lot of HP. And you'll notice that firing rate is pretty slow, but it does a lot of damage, pierces through there. And like all these types of games, there's quite a few weapons to choose from and some really fun things. There's a few other basic tips. There's this meta currency you can pick up. Every once in a while you'll see that, and you'll see these pickup range. You'll see this glowing plant down here. I'm going to come down here and get that, and that's going to give me a really powerful item. So, for example, I have Suffocate, 400% crit damage. That is an incredibly huge upgrade. All of a sudden, you'll see if I get a crit, I'm going to be doing absolutely disgusting damage with those crits. So obviously an upgrade like that would really make you want to shift your build towards something that's going to take advantage of those crits. So I have 3 of a kind here, and even though I have 1 slot here and 1 in here, and it says this is going to be replaced, because the 3 of a kind checks first before it replaces, it went up here. And yeah, so you can do lots of cool things, lots of different types of upgrades you can get. I like the Lucky Strike damage. It's pretty cool. Instead of adding flat damage, it adds a bonus roll on top of your damage. So it's kind of neat. And ultimately, the goal of every single run is to get to the sun, destroy the sun, and it collapses the entire galaxy. There's a really cool mechanic with this too, and I'm just going to power absolutely to the sun right now. You would never do this early on, but I'm strong enough that I can just sort of tank it, and I'm not really playing to go for a long game here. I'm just doing this to show you. So whenever you kill the sun, you get one of these green cards, and they are generally really powerful. So things like homing projectiles, a ton of HP regeneration, a massive lucky damage. So this is going to give 0 to 32 damage on every single projectile. You can even redraw these and take a look at some other ones. So this is huge, 16 crit health per critical hit. If you have enough crit damage, you're almost immortal with something like this. Projectiles splitting at the end when they reach their maximum range. Really, really cool. I can take something like that, and now look at my my projectiles just blasting off. So yeah, really fun game, really cool option, and this is the thing I wanted to show you. So once you finally beat the level, you get that really cool upgrade, and you're like, wow, I'm so powerful now. You have this option, and this is what makes this game a little bit unique. After the first level, you can choose to double or nothing, or you can finish, cash out, get a little bit stronger with meta progression, and definitely recommend that the first few times you finish a stage, but this is a really fun button. You can click this, and now you're into a next level where it's going to get even harder. Planets start moving, the void is spreading, there's additional types of rules, and lots of cool things to see. So in this particular biome, I have this ice which makes me slide around. So once I'm on it, I keep moving, even though I'm not pressing that direction. So yeah, pretty cool. Lots of things to check out, lots of unlocks, lots of meta progression, tons of chaos. You feel super powerful. You're absolutely destroying planets and monsters. The game eventually gets nuts. And yeah, this is Rice. Tons of fun. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll check it out.